It's not every day that you get a game where you can actually go beyond max level upgrades. And that's exactly what this one is, so I really took advantage. The name of the game is Destroying Shapes. The more complicated the shapes, the more money you get from them. So I just kept going and going and going until I unlocked shapes that I don't know the names of. And even once I had them all unlocked, I thought, why stop there? So we just kept going. The upgrades pushed well beyond their maximum limits. And I did this all without prestiging once. And I know some people are going to have feelings about that. You prestige because you have to, I prestige because I want to. I'm in the mood for 8 hours of upgrades, so it's gonna be a good one. You control Max Manos, a hand on a quest to destroy shapes. And I hate shapes so much. We're gonna destroy each and every one. The way it works is I hover over the shapes, they explode eventually. And we have a timer in the upper left, so that means this round is going to end, at which point we'll get upgrades so we can do it bigger. Look at all the records we broke. 14 shapes, 140 cents in shards. Now we can buy a square. Adds one additional square shape to the game. It shoots 2 projectiles orthogonally upon destruction. Now it informs me that when shapes are destroyed, they drop shards. We need to hover over them to grab them. And that's good to know. Now we can actually make the money. Okay, so as fast as we can kill these, we need to also collect the shards, and we're going to need a lot more shapes spawning as well. And I have a blue bar on the left filling up. I'm not entirely sure what it do. But that time we made 420. So we're going to add 1 extra second to the total time, because the longer we can last for, the better it is for everyone. Also a triangle for 150. Now alongside general, we've also unlocked shape upgrades. We can do this to reduce the respawn time of basic shapes. And that sounds perfect. The more the shapes we can have on a screen at any one time, the more money we're potentially going to get, especially because they explode and destroy each other, causing great chain reactions of fun. I can see this getting very satisfying when we get a couple million shapes on screen. So this time we made 500 cents. So let's make the squares and triangles spawn a lot quicker. You know what? I'm just going to buy that twice. So now they're going to appear 20% quicker overall. So when our blue bar on the left side fills up, we get a multiplier. So that makes the shards harder to kill, but I get more shards. So we need to be able to murder a lot of shapes before we're going to get there. The productivity on some of these really depends on like where the shapes spawn. Sometimes I can overlap 4 of them. Sometimes I get 1 at a time. Like this was a horrible round. We only got 300. So I'm going to add 1 more square. 1 more square, at which point I'll be so broke I need to go straight back to work. But I think the fastest way to upgrade for now is going to be doing things like that, where I just get a whole bunch of shapes on the screen and hopefully they cause a giant chain reaction. Earnings wise, this wasn't bad. I think we did fill the blue bar up because we had a 1.1 times multiplier. So let's add a pentagon. That's going to add an entirely new shape. And a triangle, why not? Shapes have a slim chance to respond to shadow shapes. These shapes can only be destroyed by Max Manos direct attacks and are immune to projectiles. Got it. Give me the pentagon. Did we get more from that? I don't know what it did for us. I guess it put more shapes on the screen, and that thing fired out of it. Okay, already we're getting a lot more shapes on the screen. We need to focus on the high traffic areas. So we're averaging about 500 cents per round so far, and with that we could buy Fist. Increase the damage Max Manos deals to shapes. Doesn't quantify it, it just more damage. But that's perfectly fine. The faster these things die, the faster they fire out the shards, the faster we can move on to killing other ones. And the key to a good shape genocide is really just raw efficiency. There was a shadow shape that spawned for the first time. Not sure what we get, but we did get 704 total for this round, which is enough to buy damage again. 1 more Fist. Also 1 more square, which means earnings should go up again, as long as we get lucky with those chain reactions, which we will because I am lucky. So after that next round, another 720. So let's add another pentagon, another triangle, and then get right back to work. Now these screens starting to get very busy. That's exactly what we want. I want so many shapes I don't know what to focus on. Ooh, there's a shadow shape. That's really hard to kill, but it caused a big destruction. And we got a slightly new record. We should probably add a few more seconds of time to the game. There's an extra 2 seconds overall, which is actually enormous. 2 seconds is all the time in the world when you're me. And after that round, we got 840. So in total, we've got 1,004 cents or something, which means we can expand our attack radius. That's really expensive, but I can't help myself. It's not a great deal bigger, but it's big enough to make a difference. What we really probably need is just more shapes. I'm getting carried away by all the fancy upgrades. Also, I don't know, I guess the hand itself needs to touch the upgrades to really suck them in quickly. I got a little distracted by experimenting. So we're gonna add another square and another triangle. And I think with the shapes, the more corners they have, or the more sides, the more things they shoot out when they're dead. At least that's my toddler-like observation so far, and it might be wrong. But we did get 840, so we're getting very close to 1,000 per run. We're also going to get hexagons now. Those cost 500, and also more triangles. There's the hexagon. So yeah, it shoots bouncing, piercing projectiles everywhere. Those are going to be really good. A little buzzer or something went off at the end because I got a new record for shapes destroyed. Somehow I only made 666. Okay, I'm going to max out the amount of squares I have.
I was hoping I'd get some kind of award for that, but I didn't.
We're going to expand the range at which we suck things in from. We're going to be suckier than ever. And I know that's just the kind of thing you're all here for. and probably to learn a little bit about shapes in case you were unclear what they were called. There's a big 50 icon that disappeared. I don't know if that's the number of shapes. Maybe that's a record. Yeah, it seems to be. We destroyed 61. We made 1,264. So we're going to get another hexagon because we can afford it, and a pentagon. Maybe that's the way we should do it. Work from most expensive to least. Although probably not. Usually my ideas fail horribly because they're not thought out at all. But who's got time to stop and think? I've got shapes to destroy. Okay, we got the big 50 meter there. If we can destroy a few more, this could be a new record. It might not have been. It was very slightly. Circles. Those don't have any corners at all. Therefore, is it actually a shape? Nobody knows for sure. One day, mathematicians will solve that. The circle disc explodes like a bomb, which is pretty funny. It really is pretty luck dependent so far, like depending on whether or not the shapes will shoot their projectiles when they die, but we did get $1,400. So I'm going to increase my damage once, and then we're going to add more triangles. We're maxed out on squares and triangles, and those are really good things to be maxed out on. I feel like it probably is worth increasing the odds of the projectiles coming out after they're dead. Given how many things are on screen, we could really get some chain reactions going. That was really early to get the 50. This is probably going to be a new record. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. So we're going to gather up everything we can. We got our barb to yellow on the side, 100. We even got an achievement for that, 2,000 total shards. So we're going to buy Sack. Adds one additional shape to the game. The shape does not shoot a projectile upon destruction, but drops more shards. Then I'm going to go over to shapes and get burst. Increase the chance for square and triangle shapes to shoot a projectile by 4%. Since those are really all we're making, that's definitely something we're going to want. Squares and triangles are our bread and butter so far. And we're also spawning a lot of shards everywhere that I can't necessarily pick them all up. I probably am going to need the bigger range, but we're going to start making more and more and more. This is just about as much fun as you can have with shapes. Almost $2,000 once again. I'm going to take a little more damage just so we can finish them off quicker. Then we're also going to get more hexagons. Not that our damage was lacking, but if we can just insta-kill things, we'll get so many more shards, especially if we can get them all firing off. So this time we broke 2,000 in total because we got 1,950 earned. So we're going to add one circle, then we're going to add a hexagon. We're getting so busy with shapes now. They're everywhere. Pretty much everywhere I hover my cursor, we're making money. The upgrade loop is really addictive. Like, I want all of the upgrades. We can get a star. It fires 3 powerful piercing star-shaped projectiles upon destruction. That's $1,500, so it's got to be worth it. We're also going to increase the chance for square and triangle shapes to shoot their projectiles. There's a star already. It didn't fire its projectiles out, but it probably thought about it. We got to keep an eye out for that star. Luckily, they're color coordinated, so they're easy to find. I might not know shapes, but I do know my colors. So I saved up $3,000 and I accidentally bought TNT. Explosions occur more frequently, deal more damage, and drop 1 extra shard. I don't know where the explosions are supposed to come from, but we can also get lightning soon too, so that's fine. We're going to increase the regeneration of the triangles and squares and boost the strength of their projectiles as well. Because of everything, there definitely are the most triangles and squares still, so if we can get them helping us even more, all the better. I feel like there's almost always a chain reaction going off now somewhere, so that's going to be really good for our earnings. There's another shadow shape. I already forgot what those do. Oh yeah, those are going to be really big with all these shapes on the map. Easily a new record in a few categories. Oh, we can actually increase the chance of projectiles from the squares and triangles by 20% overall. That was pretty expensive, but it's going to be worth it. We'll add another 4% on top of that. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. We're just creating chain reactions as much as we can. Then we add more shapes and then we upgrade them to also do the same thing. And pretty soon, before you know it, we'll have a unstoppable reaction that's going to destroy the entire universe. And so far, it seems to be working pretty well. Here's another shadow shape on this one. Look at all those. I don't even know if I can collect those all in time. But we saved up $6,700. So I'm going to buy lightning for $4,000. I think that's got to be helpful. Then we're going to increase the time so we can make more every round. And now we can increase our total time by 2% as well. We are working our way down the upgrades. So the lightning went off almost immediately, so that's good to know. I didn't really see the shadow creature in the upper corner, otherwise we could have wiped this whole thing. There is another one here though, and when those show up, we're going to use them. Those had bouncing ones. Wow, that was 100 already. So that quickly jumped us up to about 2,500. So let's add another star, and then let's gonna add attraction. So things are more attracted to us. I just simply needed a confidence boost. I do think I like the increased attraction though. It seems like we can sit quite a ways away and I worry less about having so much waste lying on the ground. So with that we earned 2,800 rounded way up. Ooh, and that gives us enough money to buy a single sparkle. I feel like we should maybe be upgrading some of the lower tiers before buying higher tiers. Yeah, but then again, what we have is unlimited time on our hands, so we're just going to keep playing until we get it all. And we're getting some pretty satisfying reactions at this point. There goes one of the things firing its little moon crescent things around. So this time our income is more rounded up to 2,800. So let's reduce the respawn time of squares and triangles. That's actually maxed out now. So let's add 4% fire rate to them as well. So that's going to help to see even more projectiles go off. They'll respawn quicker, so things will really start going crazy. They'll add a lot of damage. And the shards that are getting dropped on the ground, I think are of different values as well. I think they have to be, but I need to start paying attention for which ones are more valuable to know which ones to prioritize. We had a strange ghost shape show up and drop a bunch of stars down on everything. That was really destructive. There's a triangle one as well, but the round's over. But for the first time, we got over 3,100. So clearly the longer we play for, obviously the more our multipliers go up, so we need more time. I would buy 2%, but I think 2 seconds total is more right now. I don't know what our total time currently is. Ooh, we can get gilding. Increase the value of shards dropped by squares and triangles by 2 when destroyed. I think that's going to be worth it. We'll sort of get a good idea after this. In total, I think we got about 30 seconds of playtime. So 2% is not going to be worth it for a while. This was a pretty good round though too. So in total, we got 4,100. So we're going to increase the chance for square and triangles to drop double value by 7%. And then we're going to increase the chance for projectiles fired by square and triangle shapes to drop a shard by 20%. Oh, I thought that was firing projectiles earlier. But dropping shards is even better, really. Because the projectiles are doing fine. But the chaos is destroying everything anyway. I'm mostly just here for the shards. We're getting more shadow shards as well. If we can increase the number of those, that might also be good. But that time we got almost 5,000. So let's increase the value by 2 once again for the squares and triangles. Then I'm also going to get more damage and we're going to expand our pickup range twice. Then we can just kill things all the quicker. We hover over them for only a brief second before moving on. Especially because as we go longer, things are going to get tougher. So that wasn't even breaking any records, but we still got 4,400. So we're going to add another 2 seconds on. That was pretty much all of our money. But with all this time, we'll be able to get higher and higher multipliers, especially with some lucky spawns. So after that, we destroyed 160 shapes. We got $5,500. So let's add another 2 to their value of their shards. And then we're going to have them for their ability to spread their shards. I mean projectiles. So we're going to get more shards and more projectiles. So we really quickly hit 100 shards. We got about 7 seconds left. We're going to try and take advantage of all the little shapes we can. It's so addicting. Okay, that was pretty mediocre. We still made 5,200. I really quickly saved up $17,000 just so we could buy more pentagons, more hexagons, more circles, more stars, and more sparkles. Then I'm going to go through that same thing one more time, buying as many new shapes as we can. With all the chaos going on, we just need more shapes showing up. Because look at all of this. We're going to make so much off these shapes. I feel like I can't avoid shapes anymore. Like everywhere I go, I'm touching something. That was a cool effect. So the bar's all the way up to yellow. We still got a few seconds left. 6,700. There's a ghost star. I don't know if I've seen one of those yet, but that was really strong. That wiped the entire board. There's another one, but I think everything's gonna die. Never mind. We got 7,000. So we're gonna reduce the spawn time of hexagons. We're gonna reduce the spawn time of circles. I'm gonna buy both of those one more time. And then we're gonna increase their projectile abilities. And then I'm gonna get silver point for the squares and triangles again. So they're gonna have an increased chance for their projectiles fired by square and triangle shapes to drop a shard. Also, I'm going to give their projectiles more strength. We're probably quite overdue for that. Because some of those shapes are probably getting pretty tough. So the projectiles that get fired out...
Hopefully kill a little bit more.
Decided to save up another 20,500. So we're going to buy Bloom, which is a new shape. It's a series of shapes. I'm also going to get further gilding for the squares and triangles. I'm actually just going to buy that twice because that's just going to boost our earnings so much. At least I think it is at this point. It seems like it, considering they're now spitting out new shapes entirely when I kill them and there's a lot of them around. Yeah, it's definitely getting hard to actually avoid shapes. Like we're always killing something. So we did earn about 7,000, which isn't a great increase. For our next 14,500, I want more lightning and more lightning again, because whatever gets hit by lightning also drops more shards. Also, we're going to increase our pickup radius because we're leaving a lot of shards behind, and that's getting messy. We're also at the point where $320 buys nothing. So hopefully that lightning goes off very often. I think it was every 7 seconds before. I have no idea what it's going to be now. But that felt like less than 7 seconds. I would time it in the upper right, but I'm way too busy destroying shapes to take my eyes off of things. This time we did make 7,700 though. That's a record. I think we're overdue to increase our attack radius. So we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, and also more damage. That's actually a considerable upgrade. We're going to destroy so much more. Oh, that's such a good upgrade. So I might have to spend the rest of my life simply upgrading attack size. We destroyed 200 shapes for the first time. We definitely made a new record on pretty much everything. A few runs later, we made almost 10,000 in a single go. So we can increase our radius. That can go all the way up to 20. So it went up to 9. And I'm also going to improve my sucking power again. Increase the chance for shapes to drop an extra shard by 2.5%. Didn't see that one earlier. Alright, so now we're much bigger again. And extra shards are going to be everywhere. Still going to need more vacuuming power. Alright, I'm going to take a little more damage, times 2. Then we still have 13,000 left over, so our radius is going up one more time. Aside from that, 2.5% chance for extra shards again. There's so many different directions to go with all these upgrades, but our size is getting very nice. We should probably start to spawn more shapes in again as soon as we can afford it, but we are tearing through them so far. So that led to a new record. We made almost 16,000 in a single go. Alright, we got $31,000 to spend, so let's increase the respawn time of many of our shapes. Then with the remaining $14,000, let's increase the chance for shapes to drop an extra shard by 2.5% 1 to 3 times. Then we're also going to get an extra 2 seconds of length. So now we're going to get extra shards. Lots and lots and lots. And just like that, we got another 44,000 to spend. So let's add more shapes. We're just going to work our way along and do that again. And then we got lots more shapes to get. It's crazy now, $1,400 and I can't afford any more upgrades. But I'm going to have a lot more shapes to destroy this time. I feel like the screen is getting like more zoomed out. Obviously, because the shapes are a lot smaller than they used to be. But if we make our attack radius bigger, it won't matter. So this time we made 16,000, which is a record, 328 shapes. But we can obviously still do much, much, much better, so we're getting right back to work. I've never destroyed a ghost one of those things before. It causes a giant carpet bombing of the entire world. And that's the kind of thing we're here to see, so hopefully we get a lot more of those. Okay, we're making a lot this time. That's all the way up to 17,600. Okay, I'm going to increase the chance for square and triangles to drop double shards by 7% 4 times. So that's a big increase to their value. Also, let's increase the regen time of these, and these. 2 of those are now maxed out. So hopefully now that's lots of extra shards. Hopefully the squares and triangles are still dropping stuff valuable enough to be worth it. But we've got more to do. We're going to get more pentagons. That's only 3,500. The next one's only 4,500. We still got 48,000 left over. I'm also going to increase our total time by 2 seconds. Then we're maybe going to add 3 seconds on top of that. That's a really big upgrade. We're going to add one additional shape to the game. Does not shoot a projectile, but drops extra shards. We're going to get a few levels of those because those are still quite cheap. Considering that's actually still only 3,000, 4,000, I'm going to buy that. Explosions occur more frequently, deal more damage, and drop 1 extra shard. Yes. I need to start finding some of the cheaper upgrades we've been ignoring for a while. Even then, I'm going to add increased total time by 2%. Now we're up to about 40 seconds in total. So that's going to hopefully push us into higher multipliers as we murder more shapes. So we've destroyed about 12,000 so far worth. We haven't pushed ourselves into the next multiplier quite yet, but this on top of our regular multiplier is still going to be 25,000. I just got an achievement for destroying 400 shapes in a single round and a total of 10,000. We also earned almost 30,000. So I'm going to buy some of these cheap upgrades over here to make like things like these guys' shapes do more. Actually, what we should do is buy another 2 of the hexagons. That way the max number of hexagons can spawn, because now hexagons and pentagons are grouped together. And we can increase the chance of them to drop a shard by 20% 1 to 3 times over. And we can increase the value of what they drop several times again. So we're going to make even more money with this. And then we're going to do this one more time for them to drop 20% more likely shard. And then while we're at it, we're going to boost the strength of projectiles fired by them. So they're joining squares and triangles and being really, really strong and dropping lots of value for us. So close to pushing into that next multiplier, but I still got 32,000. And after that round, we earned 37,000 and that gave us 100,000 in total. We can also unlock the Omega. Creates an Omega shape that drops a large number of shards when destroyed. Okay. An arrow creates an arrow shape that drops shards as it travels across the screen. Yes. These are really expensive, so I assume they're worth it. We can also get Snake. Creates a snake shape that drops shards whenever its body parts are hit by max manos. We're going to increase the total time because that's only 2,500. I'm also going to get the Girder, which is a new shape. I'm also going to get more damage. We're still only at level 8 out of 20. These are getting expensive, but I assume that's going to be worth it. That's $20,000 upgrade. This is a $30,000 upgrade. Oh, and I'm also going to expand our Saki radius. So now we'll have all sorts of new shapes to look for and an even bigger radius. Well, there's an Omega symbol. Hopefully it's worth it because we got to spend a lot of time hovering over this. Like, it's got to be a lot of shards if we can even kill it. Yeah, it's dead. So we got a lot of shards out of that. I'm not sure that was worth it. We could have got a lot more probably attacking other things, but we'll see at the end. There's a lot of different things going on now, and I'm just enthralled by all the pretty colors. So that time we got 40,000, so we're still doing better. Okay, the next round we got 46,000. We destroyed 500 shapes. And we're really close to another multiplier. So I'm going to spend 88,000 on bonus. Increase the chance for shapes to drop an extra shard by 2.5%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And then we're also going to get Suck here. We're maxed out on Sucky power. I probably should have finished off Silver Point for squares and triangles a while ago. I keep forgetting about it. Increase the chance for projectiles fired by square and triangle shapes to drop a shard by 20%. But that should just be a raw income boost for us now. And we got a snake showing up again this time. We're going to try and follow it through while also hitting as many shapes as we can. Definitely making a lot of money on this one. Not quite into that next multiplier yet. We're real close now. We are 500 shapes. So multiplier went up to 1.8. We made 53,000. And the next run we earned 60,000. And we haven't even unlocked the gems yet. This costs 20,000. Grants a chance for shapes to drop valuable diamonds. Okay. And then I'm going to buy 4 more levels of circles, so we're getting lots of those to show up. Also more stars. Then we're going to get more lightning. And then we're going to get 2% more time as well. There's so many things to buy. Explosion. I forgot about the silver thing for these triangles and squares. That's perfectly fine. Well, there's always time for that. I gotta try and keep my eyes open for the gems that are gonna drop, but I don't know if I'll even see them at this point. There's so much going on. Well, we destroyed the Omega. There goes an arrow. Here comes a snake. There's a lot of different things to try and focus on. But depending on how much our income has gone up this time, we might get more gems to spawn. I guess we did also increase our circles though too, so it's hard to know what's gonna be the biggest difference maker for our income. We did go up to 1.9 times multiplier with 600 shapes, $67,000. So this time we very quickly saved up 140,000. We're gonna get more gems. 3 levels of gems. Also more damage. That way we kill the shapes even quicker, especially these early shapes are getting absolutely wrecked. It's strange, but I haven't actually noticed till now the number readout of how many shapes we've killed. At least I think that's what it is. I don't know why I've been looking past that the whole time, but we got 70,000 for a single run. And the very next run, almost 80,000, which means we're finally gonna get silver point, so the squares are pretty much completely done, except for impact. But we could also get rebirth, reduce the respawn time of squares and triangle shapes by 10%, enhance all the other efficiency of the other upgrades. I'm hesitant to do that because the more of every shape we destroy, the more our overall multiplier goes anyway, so we'll wait on that. What we'll get is more stars, more sparkles times a few, more blooms times a few, and more girders. That's also unlocked the cross. It emits powerful laser beam upon destruction. Okay, we'll take a few of those. I will take more damage as well, and then we're going to get another 2% increase to our time. So then we got even more to deal with. We got an Omega showing up already. These are starting to die fairly quickly too. At first I wasn't even sure if we could kill them. Now they're dead by about halfway across. Pretty sure this one is pretty handily going to be a new record, especially with all the new shapes and stuff. I haven't even recognized them somewhere in the background, but I'm sure they're here somewhere. We hit a new multiplier as well, so this time we got 85,000. I did actually see a gem drop. I do think they spawn out like the blue diamond color. If I saw that right, there's obviously a lot going on. There's a purple H that I think was the giant explosions in the background. That time we got almost 100,000. So we're going to get regeneration for the bloom, girder, and cross, so they show up faster. Also gilding for the pentagon and hexagon, maybe silver point as well. These seem pretty cheap in comparison now. So circles and stars are going to have a higher chance to drop things, so are those guys. Raffle, the pentagon and hexagon are going to have a chance to drop double things, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35%. And then we're out of money. We just spent hundreds of thousands just like that. But we'll make hundreds of thousands back because they're going to be dropping even more on the ground. Maybe I need more lightning. I feel like lightning helps us a lot too. It feels pretty strong. I feel like this is going to be a high earning one as well. We've already broke 500 shapes a second ago. That was fun. We're up to about 50,000 base value plus a multiplier. So I think this is going to be over 100,000. 104,400. All right, so now we need to spend 205,000 on something good. We're going to get silver point for circle, stars, and sparkles. We're also going to get gilding for those as well. This is just huge value for us. It's very expensive now, but it's absolutely worth it. It's just sad because it doesn't look that much when it's here, unlike a big snake, which is very obviously there. So after that run, 115,000. So we just got like a 15,000, 15% increase. Everything's getting so expensive. If I want more radius, it's 40,000 and 50, then 60, then 75. And we're also going to get more TNT. That's a little better. It is a noticeable increase to attack radius, and there's a lot of things on the screen we can hurt. So by the end of that, we have 65,000 there, 130,000. So that was about a 15% increase again. So with that, we got $400,000 to spend. So let's finish off the stars. We got lots of those spawning. More sparkles, that's going to get expensive. Same with the blooms, also very expensive, but you can never have too many shapes. Also more sacks, because those just show up. They don't shoot projectiles, but they do give us shards. So imagine our income is going to go up again considerably. We got a snake and an omega to start on this one. That's fun. So we already broke 500 shapes, and that was with like 15 seconds left. So this is very likely to be quite a new record. Yeah, we got almost 150,000 on that one. So on this one, we actually destroyed 1,000. That's worth 150 grand, and we got an achievement for destroying X amount of shapes overall. So we're going to increase the chance for circle, stars, and sparkles to drop double shards. We're going to increase our chance for that by a lot. You know what? I want more lightning. We're going to get max level lightning. That was expensive. But that's going to help us kill a lot of things. That lightning's going off a lot. That's every couple seconds. And whenever it hits, drops extra shards. So after that, we made 165,000. Logically, I think we need more shapes. So we're going to buy girders up to there. We're going to buy crosses up to there. We're going to lock shape splicing. That's a whole other upgrade thing. So press splice to randomly select and combine two regular shapes, creating a new powerful shape. Only unique combinations of shapes will be added to the game. So if the selected combination has already been spliced, no new shape will be created. All right, well, the first one's free. So we're going to put a square and that thing together to make this. So we're going to do that one more time because I'm a little bit curious as to what we can get. Square plus that equals that thing. Got it. More shapes or more shapes? We're also going to get more levels of sack because that's more shapes on the board that are going to drop more things for us. We're going to get that one because it's cheaper and then that one. Also, the snake is really expensive, so it's got to be valuable. All right, so we should have definitely more shapes than ever before. And it feels like we do. We are tearing through the numbers. And my upgraded snake has shown up. So far, yeah, we're going to make a lot of money on this. So by the end of all of that, 205,000. Do you think shape splicing carries the benefits of like lower ones? Because the shapes we spliced have squares, and our squares are pretty much max upgraded. So we pretty quickly saved up 600,000. So we're going to add 3 extra seconds to our total time. You know what? Let's do that a lot. And then let's increase damage 1, 2, 3, 4. And then increase chance for gems to spawn. That was $70,000 by itself. But then we're going to upgrade the arrow several times over. And then we're ready to go again. Our extra damage will help us tear through these shapes even quicker. Plus the extra gems definitely aren't going to hurt a single thing. Lots of arrows showing up. Oh, lots and lots of arrows. Okay, I'm here for this. Okay, we broke 1,000 shapes and we have 17 seconds left still. So that means on this we had 285,000. Remember when we started out and there's just a few shapes on the screen? So we saved up almost $900,000. We also have Penta, which seems to be a prestige thing. So we've already hit the money qualification for that. If we hit level 15 and 350 upgrades, we'll get a better prestige, which seems a little strange considering we're still making rapid amounts of progress. So I'm going to get some cheaper options really quick. Explosion jumped up to 25,000. These are all actually getting really expensive. Snake will upgrade a few times. It shows up a lot. Omega's only, well, it's not that expensive and we can definitely top it up. Explosion will still top up anyway. As for Girder, it's level 6 out of 10. Now it's level 10 out of 10. Cross is 5 out of 10. Now it's at 8 out of 10. Then we'll get another snake level. Then we spend pretty much all of our money once again. It turns out things get expensive in this, but we're going to make even more money again from this one. Also, look at all the explosions going off. They're actually really, really big. And our newly upgraded Omega and arrows and snakes should get us lots and lots of money. So with that, we destroyed almost 2,000 shapes, almost 400 grand from a single run. So I think what we need now is more splicing. Does it cost 42,000 every single time? Yep. But 42,000 is totally achievable. We're going to get all sorts of new shapes, and that's going to add lots of value again. Unless, of course, we get a repeat, which we already did, which doesn't seem very fair. Can we splice two of the exact same together? That's a fun shape. Yeah, that makes sense. We are getting duplicates. We've only made 9 out of 45. Like, there's another duplicate as well. We spent all the money. We got 1/3 of the splices unlocked so far, but that's just going to add a ton more shapes on here to destroy. And boy, is it. We are hopefully going to get a massive multiplier. So this time, 412,000. We destroyed 2,000 shapes. The next run without any further upgrades, 450,000. So a few of those runs leaves us with $1.3 million to spend on whatever we want. This one will have 0.02 seconds of total time for each shape you own. So hopefully that gives us a lot. We'll get the rest of the crosses as well. Reduces the spawn time of splice shapes by 10%. We'll buy a lot of that. Ooh, increase the value of shards dropped by splice shapes by 2 when dropped. There's a slot machine too. There's so much depth to this. Increases the chance for splice shapes to shoot projectiles when destroyed and boosts the strength of these projectiles. Okay, I'll spend a few dollars on that, and also arrow upgrades. So we're going to be having even more shapes. And it's getting very chaotic. I feel like I need more vacuum power somehow still. I'm not sure how much time we added with that one upgrade, but we just destroyed 3,000 shapes, and we're going to get a massive multiplier for this. We made about 300,000 base value, so that leaves us with 650,000 total value. I really want to see what a slot machine is. This is fun. Press the spin button for a 50% chance to win a general upgrade. It exclusively grants upgrades you've already maxed out. Yes. No win. I'll wait. That would have been a good one. You win adds 1 additional pentagon shape to the game. So we push that to 11 out of 10. This is actually so stupidly strong. We get an additional bloom. But aside from that, we do need more damage. You know what? We're just going to max out our damage and also our AoE. Well, it's not maxed out yet, but it's a lot closer. And we're just going to finish off over here with these. And then it's right back to work for even more earnings. So after that, $710,000. You know what? Let's make that 5.2 million. Because upgrades are getting really expensive. More radius is 250,000. Stacking, add 0.02 seconds for each total shape that you own with all the splices. That's going to be a big one. Let's increase the value of shards dropped by splice shapes. That's going to cost 300,000 for 2. I'm also going to get gilding for these particular shapes and increase the chance for the same shapes to drop double value. And we've done enough now that we could actually fix a pentapiece and prestige. We don't need to do that. We will take a few spins because we're gamblers first and foremost. And bloom has gone up to level 12 out of 10. That is beyond max level. We also got extended range. Oh, and 2 more seconds of time. Those are actually really, really big increases. Increase the number of shards dropped by arrows. We're so lucky today. Another 2 seconds. Bloom is even better again. There's 3 seconds of time. Wow, we are stupidly lucky. Oh, and increased damage. We're getting beyond max level. I'm also going to get silver point for these shapes because some of these are getting really, really upgraded. I just realized for the first time the arrow system tells you like what they're going to unlock. So if we get diamonds, we get something here. Automatically generate shards every second during gameplay. Why, yes, that's $100,000. So I'm going to spend the rest of my money mostly on that. Then I'm going to increase my attack radius one more time. Then we're going to increase the chance for splice shapes to shoot projectiles. But 5 million worth of upgrades, that's going to be huge for us. Especially considering some of those pushed us above max level. And so far it does feel like it. As silly as that sounds, but with all the shapes and everything going on screen, I feel like we're destroying a lot more. We still got 25 seconds left. We expanded our time by so much. I think we also hit another multiplier, so by the time we're finally done all this, we're going to make 1.5 million. Our income was already high and we just doubled it, so now we can save up some real money. So now we've really quickly saved up 9,500,000 shards, and we broke in 100,000 in total. It's hard to know what upgrades are worthwhile anymore, but more attack radius can't hurt. Let's add some more time for every shape we own. Considering how many shapes we own, that's going to be okay. We still have $7 million left over. And you know what? Let's max out the value of spliced shards because we can add a bunch of those. We still got $5 million. Buy another 4 levels of that. $4 million. Now let's do some splicing. I've spliced my way down to $1.1 million, but we've actually got the full collection of spliced shapes now. I didn't think we were going to do it nearly that quickly, but we sure did. And I got so excited about that, I just dove into the next battle, but we'll make lots and lots of money with all these new shapes. Plus, I literally have 75 seconds still. All this time is going to mean massive, massive, massive multipliers by the end. We're running out of time, but we just hit another multiplier. We had almost $1 million base value. So that means we got 2.5 million in a single run. So let's max out the amount of time we get per shape. And then I'm going to spend $2 million gambling. That's really all I'm here for. More explosions. Each time we get one right, I'm pretty sure the gamble does get more expensive or every few wins. $100,000, $110,000 is a lot to gamble with, but we got another 2 seconds. And I feel like the Omega shape is the big winner here because it's at level 9 out of 5. But I'm pretty sure once that shows up, we're going to make a ton of money. There's one there. We're about to destroy it, and I can't even imagine. Look at all those gems it dropped. So on this one, we've broken over 10,000 shapes. We got a few seconds left. We made about $1.1 million in base value. But that equals 3.5 million in a single run. So let's try rebirthing everything. I think to max level, we should have enough money for that. Basically, there'll be less shapes, but they'll have much better effects elsewhere. And then we're going to increase the number of shards generated twice. Can't quite afford the last upgrade, but I'm sure it's a lot of money. And so far, I'm getting the feeling I should have done this upgrade a lot sooner, considering we're about to make $1 million and we still got 30 seconds left. So that probably would have saved us literally hours. But on the bright side, we did make 4.5 million, which obviously is enough money to gamble with. But that doesn't turn into as many wins as you might think, especially when they go up to $240,000 each. But I bet the value still went up by quite a lot. This time we've broken 1 million, we've got 43 seconds left. And I'm pretty sure my multiplier bar on the left has disappeared entirely. I think it maxed out at 20. So with $1.9 million base value, we made $5.6 million, and I finally feel pretty satisfied overall.